We don't often think about the significance of commonplace objects. Artist Kelly O'Brien shows us the importance of these objects in our daily routine.
So we have 3 concurrent exhibitions up for our winter season, and there's a really great theme that runs amongst them, and that is the relationship between the object and the individual. And so for this specific exhibition, which is titled One Day Late in the Afternoon, it's a ceramic installation by artist Kelly O'Brien, and she is looking at this idea of transient still lives. So as we move around our personal spaces throughout our day, we tend to group objects. And so she believes that what we're creating are our own personal still lives. And what you will see is the personal still lives of Kelly as she has journeyed through grad school and then beyond. So I think for the artist, she wants you to have a sense of the familiar in the work, but then she's pushing that a little bit further. So there are actual still lives, and what the process was for her was that she would take snapshots of these groupings that she created as she went about her work throughout the day. She would then draw that snapshot. She would then look at that snapshot and create the objects from it, and then go back and do another drawing from the objects that she created. So she was removing herself further and further from the physical object into the realm of memory. And so that's what you'll see in this exhibition, and that's their relationship to the more traditional still life.
Material culture is studied by historians and artists alike. Our possessions become part of our personal history.
So she was awarded a travel grant while she was in graduate school, and she was able to travel for about 3 or 4 weeks throughout Europe and meet with various people and sort of investigate this idea of memory and objects and the relationship and these transient still lives. So she was able to take snapshots in the various homes with friends and strangers that she visited. And so you'll see the theme of the goggles throughout the exhibition. And she was at dinner at a friend's house in, I believe, let's say Denmark, and he wore goggles every time he chopped the onions. And so he would place the goggles down on the sink with the knife and say there was a sponge there in the dish soap, so then it created this grouping of objects that might not be put together necessarily. And so I think that's a really strong point about this exhibition, is that she captured those moments. The fact that she took the time to make the plastic tab that pulls off the milk, and it's something that's recognizable, but then she's pushing that object a little bit further. I think the strongest point here is the remnants of the process, so the fingerprints that are left behind in the porcelain clay body. So it gives you a sense of how it was made, how it was constructed, and I also think the approach to the color, or actually lack thereof, in the exhibition. So all of the porcelain that you see has a white matte glaze on it, so it actually allows the objects to interact with the color or natural colors in the surrounding area. So for instance, in the table, which is titled Late Supper Pinto Beans, there's an actual window and the light is cast through it, and it gives you this sense of a late supper, so sort of dusk sitting and gathering around the table. And so the objects are able to reflect that color and that light, and then project that emotion or that feeling through the work.
To get more information on upcoming events at the Houston Center for Contemporary Craft, visit crafthouston.org. For Artbeat, I'm Paula Zapata.